So as I said, second posting, here's just to prove to everybody I'm the real deal, that I can kick the ass of any law professor, any sheriff, any judge, based on the great work of our Supreme Courts, and the great work that's paraded to the public is how we will conduct ourselves by the legislator, who then doesn't apply it when it's them abusing. So the rule of law is only for us, and anarchy for whatever they want to do is for them. And now I'm going to show you some of that. So first of all, let's look at the letter. Prove my competency. Have a look at this. There we'll see. This is for a child welfare hearing. Okay. What does it say? Please find enclosed transcript of tape proceedings in respect of the above hearing. That was a child welfare hearing. And there's a transcript. Okay. More money spent by you, ladies and gentlemen, whilst the people that claimed the money did nothing. Wordwave International, a McKerrow corporation company. One of the big corporations. Do you think they've got thousands of individual private shorthand note takers to go to? No, because in there they lied as well. They cut out what I said. They don't want on the record because they know the significance of it. Now, I also said that the compliance documents that don't exist, because forensically it's impossible to write the compliance documents that would have to exist to indemnify the 2006 family law bill before it went for vote. Here's two more pieces of forensic information. There's Information Commissioner's dirty hand of collusion. And in it, they decide that it's not in the public interest for you to know how they were able to discriminate against people and their children on the basis of those people's gender, to deny them and their children their basic family rights under UNHCR, ECHR, and under, through that, the Lisbon Treaty, which is what the Convention Rights and Community Law principle has to apply. So for government in this country to ignore it, they would have to leave Europe. And why are the government talking about human rights? Getting rid of it? Because their dirty hands are all over breaking it. Now the next one, Jimmy Hood. Anybody living in Hamilton? There's Jimmy Hood. Now I'll give Jimmy Hood his lazy inability to do anything, like all of them. But what he does say, unfortunately, I've not been able to gather the compliance information you specifically seek, but perhaps your local representative would be better able to do so through their appropriate avenues. So there he is, kicking it to someone else. He is a member of Parliament. He is the one along with his colleagues that have to pass law, legislators. He's a legislator and he's saying he can't get access. He's a bloody liar, okay? And if he's saying go to your local avenues, well, I've got more letters I'm going to show you, but not today. I don't want to bore you too much. All I'm doing is proving to you and that the media, the government, the judiciary, public servants are all taking the piss out of you to abuse their children. And why do they do it, you might ask? Because they make money. My case cost you 80 grand. 80 grand, at least. And they would happily run it again and do nothing. Embezzlement. Fraud. 80 grand. Why not just give this woman who is more into possessions, i.e. my daughter's mother, see if he gave her 40 grand, I bet he should have gave me contact then. But people would say, oh well, that's a waste of money. Is it really? You think how much money it's cost the taxpayer when I can't work because of the way my daughter's been treated? I can't be a productive member of society. And I'm sorry some of you think I should. What I have done for years, I've raised a family in the meantime. I'm now back, living in this wee place, because no one will give me a job because they've portrayed me as a nutter. It's a disgrace, and it proves that that is a criminal cabal. But here's next. This is Sheriff Vincent Smith's 43-page, highly selective and therefore incriminating piece of evidence of his malfeasance. Okay? Now, you remember Christina McKerrow, MSP, the woman talks about domestic violence, but only against women. So she's only interested in violence against women. She's not interested in violence. Okay? Here's what she says when I ask her to do something. Family Law Scotland Act. Anytime. Now, talks about, I can add nothing further to my letter, 30th of April. Your emails and phone calls continue to be discourteous and confrontational, and I wish to make it clear that unless you bring forward significant new information, which I did, in relation to your case, I wasn't talking about my case, I was talking about their conduct in Parliament, any future phone call to my constituency or parliamentary office will not be accepted, and any correspondence will simply be acknowledged and placed on file. Did you see anything there saying, I've contacted the police, I'm thinking that you're suffering fear and alarm at you? Because if I would have taken appropriate and affirmative action, wouldn't I have? But I did better than that. I've got voicemails in their possession, in the police, in the judiciary, where I make specifically and qualify everything I've said in case there's any doubt, because I'm not stupid that they would do these desperate things. They're only doing this now. Remember, I've been doing what she's talking about there for years. This is at the stage it is now, because once you know, you're going to ask for it. I'm about to put a petition. Now remember, you would ask, surely the judiciary is honourable. Well then, I agree. But most of us are honourable. It's called compartmentalisation. Remember I showed you yesterday in the posting proof that anyone can take notes in court, and if you don't allow people to take court, that court case is null and void, and that could mean rapists and murderers getting off because they've got a good lawyer, because they've got the money, like all the criminals. Well, here we go. Here, listen to this. Now, this is from a clerk. The name you see there is the same day that I went into a court case to raise an incident number with a police officer by countermanding this nonsense in this letter. There you go. Criminal Department, Sheriff Court, Carlton Place, DX. Now, what did they not do? And there it is. The 4th of March. So we have a timestamp of when this offence occurred after this letter. I refer to your inquiry regarding the taking of notes in criminal courts made in summary criminal officers on the 4th of March. I advised that note taking in criminal courts were restricted to affiliated members of the press. Lie, and official note takers. However, I was unable to confirm this. I intend to seek clarification on this issue from the Scottish Court Service headquarters. Oh dear, what happened then? Oh, did you think I would leave it? Same. Dear sir, thank you for your inquiry regarding the taking of written notes in the courtrooms. Suddenly the courtrooms, Glasgow Sheriff Court. I can confirm that there is no Scottish Court Service policy in relation to the taking of written notes within the courtrooms, which is a lie, because there is a policy, and I showed you it yesterday. And that on occasion, we have members of the press and students taking written notes. Again, now this is where the collusion of the press, another powerful machine to dumb down the masses. They want you to think that they can only take notes because that's their bread and butter, and then they can make sure that no one's telling anybody else writing a paper is a lie because they were there as well and took notes. I would advise that taking of written notes is a matter for the sheriff. No, it's not. Stippingery Magistrate, that's who I went before, and that's why I did it. Or just have peace to decide on an individual basis, and that there may be, that they may inquire as to the reasons for the writing note taking prior to granting permission. So let's just be quite clear. What more senior than anybody has written any of that or would invoke that piece of nonsense, hear what it is say. Anyone will take written notes in court. What's that from? Where is it? The judiciary, Scotland. So that's quite clear, ladies and gentlemen. Unequivocal. Now here's a real kicker. I told you as well that separation of powers mean that the judiciary and the government should never collude, especially in legislative. That's a fact. Here's why I can't get a fair trial. I raised this in my case. I raised it in my family court case. That every, and you better believe it, every judge is disqualified from taking any case, criminal or civil, against an unmarried father because of this. White paper on the Scottish family law. What do we have? The Sheriff's Association. Oh my dear, the Scottish Government are colluding with those who would be asked to adjudicate independent of them on matters as a result of this legislation. And here we have them writing comments on proposals and responses to questions on behalf of the Sheriff's Association. That there is illegal. But let me see. Let us go to the bit that shows a bias towards domestic parents of a male persuasion. Because that's what we're talking about, penises. These people are just the same as when they discriminate against gay people. And I want gay people to listen to this and stop celebrating your rights being enshrined. It's a hypocrisy and it's a misnomer. They're dividing you against your brothers and sisters. Because if you start clapping that you've got rights, just think about it. Don't you find it disgusting that I have to get permission to see my kids? Is anybody asking you to get permission to marry the person you love? Is anybody having to go to tell you to go to court to have the right to be gay? Don't you think it's wrong that gay children, black children, white children, Jewish children, Christian children, especially the male ones, are told when you grow up you won't have these rights when you have your kids? This is despicable, and here it is. Changing the law. What it's basically saying, domestic abuse. Domestic abuse. Doesn't say male domestic abuse, because they know that's not their job. Their job is to act on each case by an individual basis. Why is Myra Hindley not denied all the women in this country to have the same status as unmarried fathers? Because it's irrational. So anybody that sits there and says it's crap that men can't get rights, of course it's crap, and it's an attack on your rights even if you don't go into that group. But there you go, I'll show you some documents. Some of these documents are what are going to Sir Stephen House, the most senior police officer, and he had better investigate.